Hi, it's Joyce and I'm back. Hopefully you watched the first video on how to cut and sew diapers for Rachel's gift. So now hopefully you have a few diapers made and you're thinking, okay, what's next? Well, I'm going to show you. So the next step after you get your diapers made is we need to pin one and put Velcro on the other. So we're going to pin one first. So just take this bottom and fold it up to the top. And then you're just going to fold a tab over. You're going to put a pin. You're going to put a pin in one side. And I always pin mine with a sharp point pointing to the outer edge. And you're just going to put that through the first 2 layers of the diaper. And then do the same on the other side. So we'll lay that over there. This is the safety pins. They're 1.1 inch long, and there's 1,000 pieces in this little plastic container, so that's good. And I also get my Velcro on mine. It's stick on, so it makes it easy. So our next diaper, we're going to put the Velcro on. The diaper that you pin is for mama to take home. The Velcro is for the nurse to put on the baby. And we use Velcro because it makes it easy for the nurse to adjust the size to fit the baby properly. So we have the abrasive side of Velcro, or the sticky side that sticks you. And this is a little too wide for the diaper, so I just cut that right down the middle, eyeballing it, of course, to about that length. I cut it off. What we're going to do is this is going to go across the diaper like this, right side at the top of that straight edge there. So I'll just use my fingernail, pull that backing off. Now you can measure that if you need to. I don't. I pretty much eyeball it. So next we need the tabs for that. So for the tabs, we're going to use the soft Velcro. And I'm going to do the same thing again. Just going to take my scissors and cut down the middle. Oh, and yes, by the way, your scissors get sticky when you're cutting Velcro, so I use an old pair. I don't use my good scissors. And then just cut that off. That's probably about less than an inch. And do the same thing there, just pull that back off. Stick that to the wrong side of that tab on the, okay, put that right there. There we go. And then you just fold that over, stick it down, and as you can see, that would give the nurse plenty of room to adjust to the size, like I said, to fit the baby. So there we go. Now we've got one for mama and one for baby. Like this. The next thing we need, each set of diapers also gets a pair of hats. And just like the diapers, the hats come in 3 sizes. We've got the small hat, little bitty baby hat. We've got a medium hat. And we have a large hat. And I'm going to show you how to make a hat. I've already cut a couple of pieces of medium. Now, on our website, you can find the directions on how to make the hats, but some of you may be more visual than others, and it helps to see it. So the medium hats are cut 11 inches long. So after you cut your stockingette, which you can get again online, I did try to buy some at a pharmacy local years ago when I first started, but they told me I needed a license to buy that. I didn't have a license, so I just order it now online. It comes pretty quick, so you just fold that into itself like that, Make sure your edges are nice and straight across the top. And I pleat mine to close the top rather than try to gather it. And then we use just a little tiny clear rubber band, like you would use on a ponytail or a pigtail. And I at least 2 times around, and then it's done. And then you just fold the cuff up to make a cuff. Now you'll notice that on this large hat, we've got a ribbon at the top and a little white rose sewed on the cuff. Some of my ladies like to decorate the cuff, which is fine, you don't have to. But if you sew a button on or a little rose or something, just sew it on the first 2 layers there so your cuff is still adjustable, again, to fit the baby properly. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is tie a ribbon around that top. This is a medium. I cut my ribbon 11 inches long. Sometimes I go ahead, especially on the tiny ones, and tie a knot before I make my bow. I just think it makes it a little more secure. I'm not going to do that today. You can try it both ways to see which way you like best. Then complete my bow here. This is not satin ribbon. This is some other pretty ribbon that was probably donated to my sewing group. The next thing I do then is I cut these ends, especially on the satin ribbon, at an angle. Some of you know that keeps it from fraying. So there we have one. I'm going to go ahead and complete the second hat. Just pleat the top. Rubber band. Round twice. And tie a ribbon. So the next step is we bag ours. So I have a cellophane bag here that I ordered online. It's about 5 by 6. So let me just fold this cuff up. And I stack my diapers one way, one the other, the bottom. And then I'll lay one hat this way. I'll lay this one the opposite way on the back side, so that when you get it in the bag, you can see the ribbons on either side. And I think by laying it one way, one the other, it helps distribute that thickness so it goes in the bag easier. So we just pull this off. Once just pull that down, and that's ready to go. Now, for the tiny hats, I use a smaller little Ziploc bag, again, that I ordered online. It says restaurant wear on it. These are about 4.5, I think, is the size on those. And for the large diapers, I just use a sandwich Ziploc bag. And I've got a set here of the large, so I'm going to just put that in just to show you how that fits. Just put that in there. There we go. There we go. All ready. So thank you again for watching, and any diapers and hats that you make for Rachel's gift is very much appreciated. See you next time.